Okay, so in the video just before this one, I was talking about building beam fences. Now, I noticed I made a couple mistakes in there. One major mistake I made was I said that it would take 6 days to plant posts for 6 rows of beans if you plant one post a day. All right, to start with, you got to double that because you're going to have a post at each end. Now, if your uh, row is 40 feet long, then of course you're going to have a post in the middle of each row. And I said maybe your row should be 20 or 30 feet between each post. I think 30 feet is a little bit much because your fence will sag, it'll draw together, the beams will bring it down. You just need more strength than that. So don't think that you should have too much space between your posts. You should not have more than 20 feet between them, or not much more than 20. Um, just kind of feel your way through with it. If it doesn't work that well this year, try it again next year and just do it better than you did this year. And your guy wire. When you put your guy wire through the hole that I was talking about in the metal stake, you just feed it through it. And depending on the strength of your wire, you don't need to go twice. You just need to go once. Just go down and up again, and then tie it at the top of the post and staple it there. Um, but if it's thinner wire, you may need to go twice, like I was saying. Um, so that's pretty much it for the bean fence. But it's so much easier to just plant bush beans and be done with it. But then you've got the problem of bending over and wearing out your back and your knees and everything else by stooping down there and picking all those beans. That is quite a task to do that. Same way with peas. You can get climbing peas or you can get bush peas, and you can plant peas in a row or beans in a row, or you can make a double row or a triple row, or you can plant them in a bed. And if you make them in a bed, there are a whole lot more beans or peas to pick at a spot where you don't have to constantly be getting up and down, up and down, and up and down, or crawling. You can just sit at one spot and really gather the peas and put them in your basket or a box or a bucket or whatever it is you're picking them into. So another thing about planting peas in a bed like that, in other words, you make yourself a smooth bed with your hand and scatter the peas in that little bed and press them down, or put a little bit more dirt on top of it, soft dirt. And when they come up, they will help support each other so they won't fall over so much. And they will help each other to be shaded from the sun, because peas do not like too much sun. They don't like it too hot. If you plant your peas too late and it gets so hot, the sun will scorch them and they will not grow. They will not produce fruit or vegetable, in other words. They will not produce good peas. The peas will get hard as a rock practically in short order if they grow at all. And you want nice green soft peas, so you want to plant your peas as early as possible. And depending on your climate, depending on your climate, you plant your peas in Virginia about the 1st of February. If the ground is warm enough, you get those things in the ground, you're going to have yourself one of the best crops of peas you ever saw. And so anyway, then uh, it's good to have these peas in the bed so they'll support each other, keep each other out of the sun so much, and that way you will have a nice bed of peas to be picking peas. You won't have a whole long row of straggly peas that you have to stand up and squat down again and again and again to get your little bit of peas off of a little bit of a bush pea. Uh, but peas are another thing that is a lot of work to it to harvest them and get them out of the pods and freeze them or cook them or whatever it is that you're going to do. And but peas are nice things to be raising because they're pretty in the garden. So are the beans. And tomatoes too. I have raised lots of tomatoes. And you can sell tomatoes for a good bit, you know. And so if you have lots of tomatoes or pumpkins in your garden, you can sell them. Beans don't sell too well, and peas don't sell too well. You can maybe sell some, but it's a lot of work to getting them to where you can sell them and all. It's hardly worth it. um, so have fun with your garden this year and mulch it with leaves if you can to keep the moisture in the ground. And because if you don't, you'll have to do a lot of watering. And raise some beets if you can because beets are good for your health. And I like raising rutabagas and turnips and kohlrabi. And I used to not like these Brussels sprouts, which are little miniature cabbages, sort of like. But I like those now. And I like to raise cabbages, but they're really kind of hard to do, and you have to really see after them because they get lots of problems with bugs and stuff, and it's really hard. Celery is hard to raise. Of course, lettuce is easy to raise. Uh, all types of different types of lettuce. Radishes you can grow if it's cold in the spring, but if it's too hot, radishes will not grow. Um, so get yourself a seed catalog or go to the seed store and look at all the wonderful types of seeds that they got and just plant yourself a big variety of garden seed and you will have yourself a wonderful, beautiful garden that your neighbors will envy you if you have a really pretty garden. Keep the weeds out of it. Mulching it helps keep the weeds down. And when they do come up through it, they're easy to pull out because it's soft underneath and wet underneath. And leaves, tree leaves are really about the best thing there is to mulch a garden with, but you got acidy soil to deal with then. You got to put lime in it. And hay is good, but that causes more weed seeds. Straw is good. Peanut hulls are really good. But when you go buy different types of mulch, it gets to be really expensive. So be prepared for that. Um, if you buy hay by the truckload that's been rained on, it's a lot cheaper. And you can put them out there in cakes and just cover your whole garden with cakes and then plant tomatoes and peppers and other plants in them. And then put cakes of hay around your other plants that you planted earlier. Put it around your corn and keep your corn watered. You'll have a great crop of corn. So happy gardening. Maybe I'll talk some more about gardening later, but right now I got to get busy doing something else. Thank you for listening. I do really enjoy um, telling you stories on video, but it takes a lot of time.